Yeah, what's good? We back in here for one more again. Leave a one down into the chat if y'all can hear and or see me. Happy Sunday, happy Sunday, happy Sunday. Listen, today we're gonna have a fantastic conversation. I'm excited for this conversation right here. I was alluding to it. I alluded to it a little bit yesterday. And I think I did on a live stream this Friday as well. These are the type of conversations that cannot be pre-recorded. You got to do these conversations live and direct. You got to get audience participation, right? And you got to have the perspectives from the people that actually do that. Because listen, we do conversations all day about OnlyFans. We do conversations all day about, the e-girl industry. Like, we talk about it all the time from the outside in. But here's the thing, okay? And this is what I want to bring to y'all today, the inside out. No pun intended. You understand what I'm saying? Leave a one down in the building if you guys can hear and or see me. Shout out to Red Cup Talk Sundays. Shout out to Red Cup Talk Sundays. Oh, there go the chats. Hold on. Kyle, what's good? How are you? Hopefully you having a good time with your family today. All right. Oh, Patreon gang is in the building. What it do, Mr. Woosha? Dre, how are you? It's good to see you guys again. Listen, it's been less than 24 hours, but we here. Johnny Van Johnson, what's good, my G? How are you? Sad DDG, how are you? Malcolm, how are you? You understand what I'm saying? Listen, we're gonna get this conversation. Like the videos as you guys come in, we'll wholeheartedly appreciate it. We're gonna give this about 5 minutes or so until we get a couple of more folks in there, and then we're gonna start the conversation. I have a very special guest that's waiting in the lobby right now. I wanted to introduce the conversation the best way that I know how. And I wanted to be able to dissect it. You guys already know how I ask questions, right? I'm going to open up the, maybe not the phone lines, but I want to open up for a question and answer and an interview, a way to dissect what we talk about, but we got to get inside. Okay, we got to get to the underbelly. I should have named this cast that, getting to the underbelly, okay, of the e-sex industry. That's what I should have named it. Shout out to everybody that's coming down into the building. Let's get it. Shout out to Malcolm. I see you, my G. What up, Damon? How are you, man? It's been a minute since I've seen you. Oh, I've been working. Working. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? The Patreon got Patreon got like 10 videos yesterday. You understand me? Patreon got a ton of videos. Shout out to the Patreon as well. Listen, over the past, I want to say 4 or 5 days, I've gone up like 7, 8 patron supporters. I'm above 80 at this point, which is crazy. It's such a dope thing to see. Shout out again, everybody that's coming in the building. Okay. Our problems are solutions. I see you, Ma B. How are you? Good to see you. Steve Price, the introspective male. How are you? O'Shea White, Alibaba, I see you. No, heck, shut up. You just want me to tell you to shut up. We're not going 5 hours. It's Sunday. It's beautiful outside, but I want to have this conversation. Uncle Chris, how are you? Where's M? Yo, shout out to yesterday's conversation as well. We went in yesterday's conversation. We went in. You understand what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that came through for yesterday. It was a fantastic conversation. Shao Khan, you read correctly. Listen, we're gonna get in there. All right, we're gonna get in there. Shout out to then there was Sway. Appreciate the $2 super chat. My G to set the conversation off right. One time for the one time. Salute. Okay. Malik McCoy, what's up? What's up, man? You should have been Master Teaching Solos video. Oh, I'm not sure what video that is, my G. You know, I'm always looking to collab. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Uncle J Doe was good, my G. Uncle J Doe, you're gonna like this conversation. Stay put, okay? We gotta hear from the Caps Locks King during this conversation. Nigel was good. How are you? Buggy, let me reintroduce myself. My name is I see you, my G. Appreciate the $2 super chat. One of the newest Patreon and Discord supporters. Listen, the Discord server has slowly transitioning to like just a community of just, yo, I had something like this that happened to me yesterday. What do y'all think about it? Right? It's becoming like a support group. It's crazy. It's crazy to see. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, thank you, Uncle Chris. All right, we're gonna get it started. All right. And then we're gonna get right to it, okay? What up, YouTube? I am your host, Mediocre, the Sun Reviews and Reviews. Back in here with one more video. All right, guys, listen. Let's get this thing started, okay? Let's get this thing started. Watch my pinky. Hold on. Delicious. Shout out to the Red Cup gang. We down in there. All right, guys, so listen. As I was saying when I was first introducing the stream, I wanted to have a very clear and honest discussion. All the time we talk about the digital sex industry, which to me it's incredible that through technology we have digitized the oldest industry in the book. And it's incredible to me, although free resources for these things exist, okay, people are still paying thousands of dollars a month to support their habits, to support their need of feeling wanted, however of a dream or a fantasy that it is. I did a live stream, I think it was a week and a half ago or something like that. It was the OnlyFans live stream. You guys already know what the OnlyFans, what that is. Did the OnlyFans live stream. I got an email from a young lady that told me she is married and is a phone sex operator. She is married with a family and participates in the sex industry digitally. So I said, yo, listen, let's make some time, come up onto the stream and let's talk about it. I want to hear how you got started. I want to hear the process. I want to hear the tricks and the tools of the trade. And listen, I'm going to go into this conversation. I want you guys to go into this conversation with an idea and an air of keeping your mind open. Okay. Not passing strict and utter judgment, okay? But with an idea that, we're just trying to learn, okay? We're just trying to learn, all right? Shout out to everybody that's coming out into the building. Let's get down in it. We have to get down in it. Listen, MTR stepping up his game. Damn, this interview said at O'Shea's book. Is it the O'Shea dude? Oh, and shout out to the Hall of Game, by the way. I think that they are over there right now doing a Hall of Game. I wish that I could go over there and participate in it as well, but I knew I was going to be doing this at the same time. Shout out to the Hall of Game. I'm Mr. Andre Hatchett. I see you, my G, down into the building. All right, so guys, listen. Let's get into the conversation. Without further ado, her name is Carmen. Okay. And we're going to have a conversation with Carmen. Okay. Here we go. Hey, Carmen, how are you?
I'm doing well, and you? Thanks for having me.
Listen, Carmen, it's my pleasure. Okay. I wanted to have this conversation. Could you hear me backstage?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so you can hear me. So you already know the reasons that I wanted to have this conversation. And I want to try to pick apart as best as I can so the viewers can understand what it is. And I know, like, I've titled this phone sex operating, but I think it goes a lot deeper. I think it goes a lot deeper than that.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to extract all the information from, we can start out at kind of how you came across the industry and what got you interested. Let's start there and then we'll work our way on.
Okay. Well, I'm married with 3 kids, and so that I stay home. I was trying to find work from home that allowed me to be there for my children.
Okay.
So I was on YouTube and I came across a video on how to be a phone sex operator. And I went to the site, went ahead and set up my account, and been doing it ever since. I started about 2 years ago.
Okay. So you started 2 years ago. Now are you willing to let us know, like in those 2 years, from the site that do you want to talk about the site that you operate from? Is it like an OnlyFans or like how do people interact with you?
The site is nightflirt.com.
Okay. 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 So you started at Night Flirt. Now, are you willing to also talk through how much money that you have been able to accumulate with starting up your business?
Yes, I mean I can give you a range. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so in the 2 years, what is that range?
That can range anywhere from 300 a month to $8,000 a month.
Okay, so there's bad months and there's good months, but $8,000 a month, and then with that $8,000, is it only audible or is there visual components to it as well?
There's visual as far as pictures and stuff. There's pictures, there's MP3s, um, and then of course, you have your phone.
Okay. So there's pictures, there's MP3s, there's phone. So you're texting people. You are sending, you said pictures as well.
Yes.
Is there video chats as well?
Not a video chat. It'll be like a little snippet of something.
Okay.
Okay.
hmm Okay, so it'll be like a little snippet of something. It'll be like a little tease. Now,
Right.
if you could talk to me regarding like the funding model, because then also I want to get into, because I'm not gonna glance over it, because you said that one of the reasons why you wanted to do this is because you wanted more time at home with the kids. So within that, so is this your main source of income? I assume that you're a stay-at-home mother.
No, this is my second job, so
Oh, okay. Okay. So this is your second job. So in kind of thinking through the 8,000 a month that you make, like how does that occur, right? So let me ask this question too. How often are you working to achieve, let's say on average 4,000 a month? Is that like 40 hours per week on average?
it's about between 25 to maybe 30 hours a week, if that.
Okay. So you're making $4,000 off of 25 hours per week doing text, pictures.
It's a combination of things. Yeah, it's talking on the phone, texting, um, selling pictures, selling audio, and then of course the clients also tip you if they enjoy the conversation. They can tip you. They can send you extra money on top of the per minute rate.
Okay. Now, so the 8,000 per month, like I know that that's on the high end of it. So like on average, if you're doing, let's say $5,000 a month, so you're earning about $60,000 per year from the second job.
That is possible. Yes.
Okay. So when you say it's possible, am I close on that range, or it's like a range between like
Well,
30 to 60-ish?
it's 30 to 60-ish because each month is different. You never know how much you're gonna make.
Okay. Okay. Now listen, so you came across these. Now I want to start going through the process, and feel free, because I know we're doing question and answers, and I want you to feel free to start, dropping kind of your thought process within this as well. So you came across a YouTube page that was teaching women the game, essentially. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? So it was teaching you the game. you started researching. At what point did you go to your husband and say, listen, I think that this is a viable now and you've been married. I want to just take, you know, you don't have to tell me exactly, but I would say, you know, over 5 years you've been married, right?
We've been married 15 years.
Okay.
So in the beginning, my husband did not know. I
Okay.
haven't, yeah, I actually kept it from him for 6 months.
Wow. Okay. So in other words, like you know, you guys get out of bed in the morning. He would kiss you and the children goodbye. He go off to work, and then the children will be in the house.
No, the kids go to school,
Oh, the kids go to school, but
and then
then
I jump on the phone.
and okay, and then you jump on the phone. So he didn't know for 6 months that
No,
was the indoor activity.
no, he did not.
Yo, so tell me the moment that you let him know that this was that this was something that was bringing it. Like he could, what happened? Did he like look into the bank accounts and was like, yo, where's this extra money coming from? Like, talk through that process for me, mama.
um, he actually came home from work one day for lunch,
Mm-hmm.
and he found me in my closet talking on the phone, and he was like, "What the hell is this?" But
Whoa.
he was laughing. He was laughing about it. So when I told him what it was, and I told him, you know, how much money that I could possibly make,
Yeah.
if anything, he was upset that I didn't tell him sooner, because he was giving me ideas, and you know, he wanted to help my business. So that was awesome.
Okay. Now, okay. 15 years. Now let me ask you a question. Is it because you guys are 15 years into the game that you felt like he just was accepting of what that was? Because I mean, for you know, a dude who, you know, walked across, what do they call it, jumping across the broom, you know, whatever the trope is for getting
Hmm.
married, right? Like,
Hmm.
and being able to do that, and then to come home, and then you're on a closet essentially. Are you talking on the phone with somebody, or are you like recording MP3 sound bites to send? Like,
I'm actually talking on the phone. I have a headset, and I'm on my laptop,
okay,
and I'm just talking on the phone.
now,
So
okay, go
it
ahead.
it was easy for him to accept it because, number one, you know, 15 years of marriage. Number one, number two, um, he's secure in his marriage. We have an awesome foundation. Okay, um, and then he knows that his wife is a hustler. I'm a hustler by any means that's
Mm,
legal, of course.
mm.
So, you know, he wasn't mad at it. He just thought he just wished I had said something sooner.
Facts. Yeah. So he just wished that you said something sooner, and then that was really it. And so the thing is, you said that he's a secure dude, but listen, at the end of the day, I feel like that partnership of marriage, right? Like, and because I felt like you did not communicate with him at first because you know it might have been something that he would have disagreed with. Am I right? If you could talk through
No,
how that thought
no,
process was.
no. I didn't tell him in the beginning because I didn't think he felt that either I could do it or that it's a good idea. I think his main thing would be safety concerns. You know, more so worried about, can these clients find me? Um, am I safe? You know, stuff like that. And so when I explained to him that you come up with a character, you
Mm,
know, you never tell your exact location. And the site, everything goes through the site. So in order for anyone to call you, they have to have an account on the site in order for them to call you.
mm.
So they don't have your phone number. They don't have anything.
Okay. Now let me ask you another question too. So when you're on a public facing site, right? Like depending upon who your client is, do you have to switch like how you sound? Like is there components of the game that you have to change yourself in order to adhere to a client's requests?
You can, yes, you can, but it's not required, you know.
Okay, okay. So it's not required, but do you find yourself doing that, or do you always bring kind of your authentic self, or do you switch and mold depending upon what a client might be asking or what you think a client might be into?
Whatever the client is into is what I'll switch to.
Okay, okay. Tell me more about that. Okay, like what's the range of into that you experience?
Um, Mainly role play.
Oh,
Like I have a guy who he calls and he likes to play the doctor and I'm the patient. And I'm supposed to be this helpless, sick patient. And he's supposed to help me feel better. So
wait a minute. Pause. Hold the phone. Okay. Hold the phone. Let me get this straight. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. Carmen, hold on 1 second. So, okay. Okay. I just want to understand the whole process because there is uh, you have a profile available on Night Flirt. Okay. A dude goes up on Night Flirt, okay, and he's
mhm,
looking through the profiles, okay,
mhm.
and looking through the profiles, does he come across? Is it pictures of you? Is it like what is that? Because I know that your husband is concerned about security, so I would assume that it's not you.
No, that's not me.
Oh, okay, okay. So tell me about that. So you have like pictures of another profile on your account?
Mhm. Yes, there are models that I purchase. There's a lot of women whose photos on the site are not really them.
Oh, so there's like a business. Uh, so, so you can purchase.
Pictures of models. Yes, there are models. There are women out there who take several pictures of themselves, nude, um, with lingerie in different positions, um, in different locations, you name it, and they'll sell them. So, like, I bought a total of 80 pictures for like $30,
Wow.
and all the photos are in different positions and different clothes and different locations and everything.
Okay. I have like 17 questions off of that, but let me
Sure,
let
no
me let me
problem.
but
Ask
but
away.
but let me keep going down the logic flow.
Mhm.
Okay. So the dude who is lacking something in his life goes on to the site. That's my opinion. I don't want to be rude. Okay. To the clients. Okay. But they go onto the site. They go down to the pictures of that they find and they find interesting, and then how do they interact with you, and at what point does it come to um fulfilling like a role? Like, how does that happen?
Well, when the client calls, at the end of the day, my job is to keep you on the phone as long as possible. So I'm going to stretch that call out by asking you questions. You're
Hmm.
supposed to ask questions to get to know your client, to find out what they're looking for, what tickles their fantasy. So once they call and I ask them for their name and, just make a little small talk. Because again, I'm trying to keep them on the phone as long as possible.
Okay.
So once you find out, what their fetish is or what they want, then you indulge. Um, and then sometimes you have some guys that call who just want to talk. That's all they want to do is talk. A lot of these guys are lonely A lot of them are married, and either they're not getting the attention that they require from their wives, or they're not getting enough.
Wow. Okay. So also too, and because I still want to get into the role play thing here in a second. I think that this is valuable intel, right? Um, of the amount of people that sign up under the services that you provide, how many would you say are like single, lonely dudes or married dudes?
That I do not know, because when the client calls, they could be telling me anything. I don't know if they're single or if they're married. I have had a couple of calls where I'm on the phone with the guy, and if the phone disconnects in mid conversation, either the wife or the girlfriend walked in on him.
Oh,
Okay.
yep, 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 yep. Okay, okay. So so it could be something like, being in a relationship with someone that, they want to, let's say that, it's providing something for them, but it's not completing them. And that completion might be a doctor sick patient fantasy that
Right,
that they can get through the site.
right.
Now, you said something very interesting. You said a part of your goal is to keep them on longer, which makes me understand that the longer that you keep them there, the more that you earn, correct?
Right. Yes, because the per minute rate ranges. You set the price that you want to set it as, and it can range anywhere from 99 cents a minute to 9.99 per minute.
Okay, so you can set that price.
Yes.
Okay, have you gone to not to $10 a minute?
No. Mm-mm. No.
Okay, what's your average cost per minute?
Anywhere from 2.22 to 3.99, because I have four different characters.
Wait, four different what?
I have four different characters.
So you have four different profiles.
Yes, exactly. And one of my profiles I charge 3.99 a minute. Another profile I charge 1.99. Then I have another one where I'm charging 2.33. And and then I have another one where I'm charging, I think, 2.89 a minute.
Okay. Wow. Now let me so within the four different, do you have four different like stories that you tell clients within that? Do you have like stories memorized?
No, it's not stories. Each character is under a different fetish. So you have financial domination, and financial domination is when the guys call in and they want you to talk trash to them. They want you to talk. Am I allowed to cuss?
You can cuss, but keep it somewhat light, because
Okay, okay,
YouTube
okay.
likes to, yeah, you can't talk here like you talk with the clients.
Got you. Okay,
But
okay,
somewhere
okay,
between, you know what I'm saying?
okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, they want you to be mean to them, like derogatory, really, really mean, and a lot of bad words, really bad words.
Like
Um,
the baddest of the words.
yes, they want you to pretty much strip them of their manhood, and the words, the name calling degrades them as a man, and you give them um, commands, and you know you have them bow down and say kiss my feet and stuff like that, and you know um, the only thing that's worthy of you is your credit card, and you can't, so let's see, how can I put this? you can't you can't climax unless I say so, and stuff like that. Like, it's really bad. Yeah. And then there's another character that I play is a girlfriend character, and but she's the girlfriend that your mother never told you about. And then you have a submissive character where she does whatever the client says. Like she's there to please him, and she calls him sir.
Wow. Okay. Okay. What's your favorite character to play?
The girlfriend and the financial domination.
Okay. Well, can I guess that the financial domination is the best, is one of your most favorite because that one makes the most.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yes.
Wow. Okay. Okay. We're starting to get in there now. We're starting to get in there now. Okay, now listen. Let me rephrase the process because I like to understand the process so we can pick it apart step by step. Okay. So again, you're on nightflirt.com. You have 4 different profiles. A dude, single or married, is going to go on that website, peruse through the different profiles. That person, depending upon what it is that you're into, is going to come across a profile that interests them. Okay. And I'm sure that like you have branded each of the 4 personalities specific to whatever it is that you're communicating is the benefit of signing up for your package.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then, boom, they get a contact number, or do they just text you, or do they video chat you?
They just click. I don't do video chat, but all they do is click on my profile and they click call.
Okay.
And once they click call, my phone rings. That's it.
Okay. Okay. And then can they call you any time of day?
They can call me as long as I'm logged in. If I'm logged in accepting calls, then they can call me. So like right now, I'm not logged in. I'm logged off. So I'm not taking calls.
Mm-hmm.
So even if they tried to call me, they could not call me, but they could text me.
Okay. Okay. So you're online for text 24/7, and I'm assuming that the text costs money as well.
Yes, and I get paid for the text messages. So on any of my characters, when someone texts me, I'll get a notification on my phone, and then I'll respond, and I get paid for it.
Okay. Okay. So you get paid for the texts, for the sound bites. You don't do the video chats on Night Flirt.
No,
Okay.
and the reason for that,
Mm-hmm.
I found out when you do video chat, some of the guys are recording you, and then they'll save it to replay over and over again so they don't have to call back in and pay more money.
Mm,
Or they will turn around and save it and sell it to make money off of it. So for that reason, I don't do video chat.
But let me ask you a question too, from a client perspective, like the demographics, like what would you say is their socioeconomic background? What would you say is their ages typically? Like what would you like? Is there any archetype of right? Like, are you like? Would you think that? Do you think that the person that you're talking to online, like via these services, is who they purport themselves to be in real life?
No, I think it's an inner itch that needs to be scratched, and that they can't get it scratched anywhere else. But to answer your question, as far as demographically, they are usually blue collar white men that are between I'm gonna say 40 and 70 years old.
Blue collar white men between 40 and 70 years old. Okay.
Yes. Now
Wow.
I've only had in this time that I've been doing this, I've only had 3 black men call me. Everyone else is white.
Okay. Now when I hear your voice, I think that you're black. I could be wrong. I could be right. Do you feel like do you have to switch for the white men? Do you feel like you have to switch your voice?
No, no. But yes, I am black. No, I don't switch my voice because the white men that call me, they want a black woman. So they know when they click on my page, they already know, and they love black women.
Interesting. Okay, so it's black model pics that you purchased from
Yes.
the websites that you put on.
Hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, cool. Now, as far as I'm trying to journey my way through this conversation the best way that I know how. You probably can't tell it from the way that I'm trying to conduct this, but I'm floored. I'm just I am absolutely it doesn't make sense to me. It's just because I think like a component of the way that I've lived and I go out and seek pleasures in life, right? Seek happiness in life, communicate with the people in and around me. Like,
Hmm.
I'm not sure. I think you probably have seen, since you saw the original OnlyFans video, you probably gone and seen like within my channel, I have women over here, da da da, like it's always, it's a dope conversation. I think like sometimes I start to lose sight of that. There's a lot of people out there that are struggling, right? There's a lot of people out there that are hurting. There's a lot of people out there that feel alone. So I'm careful to cast judgment on these dudes and just simply just call them simp, da da da, this, that, and the third, like, because my observation, at least my thought, and I want to hear your thoughts on this, is that a lot of these are hurt people, right? And I want to be able to hear, but see, the thing is like at the end of the day, people within your industry get shamed because you are earning revenue off of the hurt. But I've heard the counter argument is that, well, they would be more hurt if I didn't exist. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, absolutely. You're gonna get calls from all walks of life. You're gonna have um your guys who are lonely and who just want to be heard and just want someone to talk to. I've actually had a client who called me. We were on the phone for 2 hours and 13 minutes.
Mm,
But there was no talk of sex at all whatsoever. We spoke about his failed marriage. He knows what he did wrong, and he was a white guy. And he spoke about, the dating scene and the whole nine. And we were just talking.
mm,
So you have those types of guys, and then you have other guys where either they're not getting enough attention at home because of the crazy lifestyle. He's working, the wife is working, and kids, just life. And you know, sometimes you can have a married couple in the house, and they're like two passing ships in the night.
mm,
And so, if he's not getting his needs met, then would you rather him call a phone sex line or go and have an affair somewhere?
mm,
You know. Then you have some guys who call where they're actually trying to meet me. They want to hook up with me. They want to take care of me and all of that stuff. And they keep asking, "Where do you live? Where are you? Um, Let me take care of you. I can set you up in a nice apartment and this and that." And of course, you just got to keep the fantasy going and then bring them back down to reality nicely. Hey, this is strictly fantasy. You know.
right. So
So
I want to ask a question specific to that fantasy. Hold on, we got a couple of super chats that came in. Shout out to Johnny Van Johnson. Blue collar makes sense, Johnny says. A white collar dude that has the same kinks would prob go get an escort to play out their fantasy at their
absolutely,
financial level. What do you think about that, Carmen?
yeah, you do have those who are making more money, they are able to go out and get escorts. Absolutely. And then, you have those that are at the next level underneath who may not be able to afford to do that, or because they have a family, the best thing for them to do is to call a phone sex line.
Mm.
Maybe they do this while they're at work on their lunch break, they go to their car. I've had several clients call me while they're in their car, or call me while they're in their office, and they're on break or something. So
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and I appreciate that perspective, because I never thought about that, right? But at the same time, it sounds like you're getting people that are calling you for 2 hours to talk about nothing sexual, just to phone a friend, just to phone somebody, and they're paying $250 a minute for that.
right now, here's the thing with that. For clients like that, they're calling to talk to someone who does not know them, number one, who does not know what they look like. So there's no room for judgment.
Mhm.
And so at the end of the day, not only am I trying to keep you on the phone as long as possible, but I believe I give good advice, because if I didn't, I wouldn't have these clients constantly call me back. And so, you know, I try to put them at ease and let them know, hey, there's no judgment here. You know, I need you to be relaxed when you call me. You know,
Mm.
I want you to tell me what's going on. Maybe I can help give you some guidance. I had another client who moved into an apartment complex area with his baby's mother.
Mhm.
I don't know what race he was, but he was with her for 7 years, had two kids, and he was jonesing for this cougar. A cougar is a woman uh, who is, I guess, over 50 or over 60. So every time he went to the laundry room to go do laundry and he seen this cougar, he was jonesing for her.
Mm.
And so we were on the phone for an hour and 23 minutes. And I was telling him, I said, you don't want to open up Pandora's box. I said, you need to close this one first before you open up the next one. If you're not going to marry the mother of your kids, you're not going to be with her, then you just need to go ahead and part ways before you court this cougar.
Mm. Let me ask you a question. Hold on. Let me acknowledge. Shout out real quick. Shout out to Achilles Last Stand. Thank you so much, bro, for the $20 super chat. 1906. Keep it ice, baby. Shout out to my A5A brethren in the building. I appreciate you, Achilles. As per usual. Shout out my G. Shout out my G. This actually brings up a fantastic point, Carmen, and I wanted to be able to ask this. And you know what's funny? We got some folks down to the chat, like what does Jones mean? we got some real young cats down in here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. You want me to explain Jones in like fiending?
Yes, please explain Jonesing. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's like fiending. It's like you're fiending for shit. They may not understand fiending either. It's like you want something, but like really bad. You see what I'm saying? That's what Jonesing is. It's like you're fiending for it. You want it like super bad. That's what she means when she says Jonesing. We got to cut hungry for it. Shout out to Razil. Are you hungry for it? Okay. You got an appetite for it. Anyway, how much? Let me ask this question as well, and also let me call this out as well. We got over 250 people in the chat right now, folks. If you are down into the building, throw a like on the video.
Awesome.
Throw a like on the video. Throw a like on a goddamn video. Okay. I've seen some people that in here that's asking for information. Link to Carmen's information is down in the description box below. It's all down in there. But throw a like on this goddamn video. Don't you goddamn forget. Show me respect. All right. Appreciate each and every one of y'all. Carmen, now listen. Let me ask this question too, because listen, on my channel, on my miniature platform, I often see a lot of dudes that come through the channel and they leave comments, and the only thing that I can think to myself is, this is a hurt young man. Okay, I wanted to ask this question because you are in the underbelly. Okay, you are in the you are in an arena where a lot of people feel comfortable. A lot of men feel comfortable expressing themselves because in their normal lives they can't do that. They have no other avenues that they feel like they can go and express themselves or talk about
Right.
what it is that they want, like
Right.
to express how unhappy they are, or talk about the bad decisions that they made in their life, right? Like, so with that being said, how much of your time would you say is split between right, like being a therapist, and I'm using that term loosely because you're
I
not a
got you.
therapist, obviously, but
Mhm.
being a therapist within
Mhm.
talking to these dudes
Mhm.
versus fulfilling some type of sexual desire?
It's actually 50-50.
Whoa, that's that. I'll be honest, that saddens me.
Yeah. Well, something else. I'm a. You say you're floored. I think I'm about to floor you some more.
Okay,
You
go ahead.
you have a lot of. There still are a lot of closet fags, or there are a lot of men who are obsessed with women's clothing. Um, and these guys are married. They're married men,
Uh-oh,
and
it's about
they
to turn
wait.
up in here.
They wait until their wives go to work, and then they'll call me and put on their wives' panties and stockings and pantyhose and
Demonetized.
bras and stuff. Yes, and they'll put on their wives' lipstick, and then now when they text me, they're also allowed to take pictures and send them to me. And they'll ask, "Well, can I call you? I want to talk about um, how I like the way my wife's panties feel on me and stuff like that." Or they'll just go ahead and call me and they'll tell me, um, that this is a secret that they have and their wives don't know and no one in the family knows. So it's the list goes on and on. Look, yes, you heard me correctly.
Carmen. Shit.
Um, and to make it even more interesting, I do have a couple of guys that are actually completely gay, and they will call me and have me set up an appointment for like body waxing and pedicures and manicures. I had this one client, he actually tipped me every time I set him up an appointment in his city to get something done. He would tip me like $35. The biggest tip I got from him was $50. And we were just texting. We were texting back and forth. So I'm getting paid, for the text messages. And he's telling me what he wants done. So I'll tell him, I'll have him tell me where he's at, and then I'll locate the salon that does what he's looking for. And then I'll actually call the salon. Now I have a second line. I'll call the salon and I'll make the appointment. And then when I make the appointment, I'll text my client back. And just because I did that, he'll tip me $50, $40. I think the lowest he sent me was like maybe $25. So
What? You're right. You did floor me. Okay. You did floor me. Let me ask you another question. Um, Based off of how much he's contributing, do you think that he's a wealthy person, or do you think it's more so desperate person?
I don't know. There's no way of knowing. I don't know. I have no clue. And it doesn't happen all the time because he is he's only one of 3 clients that have asked requested for me to actually set up an appointment for them, and the others didn't pay me. They didn't tip me. So
Let me, Carmen, let me make sure I have this correct. Hold on. Let me make sure I have this correct. However, let me say shout out to the Achilles Last Stand. Oh, he's getting ice cold in here today. Shout out, bro. He's co-sponsoring today's stream. Appreciate the $50 super chat. Do a like as well. Listen, everyone that's down into the chat, we have over 300 people. At least I think we have over 300 people that's in the chat right now. Throw a like down on the video. We have a lot of extra questions for Carmen. Carmen, also, too, I appreciate you coming through and being true and authentic.
sure, no problem. Thanks again for having me.
Yeah, listen, there's so many facets to this conversation, right? There's first, when you told me that you were married with children, I was like, what? So we may have to double back into that real quick, but right now we're focused on the clients themselves. And I want to keep on teasing information out like this out because, as I was saying at the top of the cast, I have no experience with this. I don't even understand it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I think that what you were teasing out and what I'm now beginning to understand is, and listen, I talk about this on the channel all the time. My overwhelming focus in my life is what are the things that I'm doing today to be complete and fulfilled within who I am tomorrow. And I also wish that I can eventually one day interview some of these dudes that actually do this, because here's my hypothesis. I would think the majority of these dudes set themselves on a path of life and never looked back within their lives to test the societal pressures, the cultural pressures, the pressures from their family and what have you, meet pressures from media, in order to conform to something very specific within themselves. So now that they're stuck in they're within the 4 walls of whatever it is that they constructed, or they wake up in the morning and look at their wife and they're completely disgusted with what's sitting right next to them, or they look at their kids and just want to and I say to myself that it is incumbent on us as being the human being to structure the life out in a way to create happiness as we see fit. And the majority of the dudes that it sounds like that do things like this have let life get away from them. And now they seek happiness in an avenue like this. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just let me finish out the super chat real quick. Through a co-sponsor, shout out to Achilles again for co-sponsoring the live stream here today. I'm out. Made alphas don't wrestle with these kinds of conflicts of bells. Shout out again to Achilles Last Stand. Appreciate the $50 super chat. We got to keep the conversation going. Oh, wait, we got some more super chat. Shout out to Dell. Appreciate the £5. That's a pound, right? I'm from America. I get those symbols. I get those symbols confused. Hold up, I can't see as well. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, that's a pound. Shout out to Dell for the £5. Ask her if she lets white dudes call her racial slurs, i.e. engages in slave play, plus smash the like button. Guys, drop a like on the video. Appreciate it. Carmen, do you engage in that?
Yes, because they're paying me. I mean, it's just a word. I'm on the phone. They can't see me.
Yep. So and then if you do that, then they stay longer.
Sometimes they do. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, one time I made $179 off one call, and then the guy ended up tipping me $100 on top of that, and that was a race play call.
Sheesh. What's the percentage of your total amount of calls that are race play? Just directional, right? Is it 80% or
Not
20%?
many. No, not many at all. Maybe 8%. Maybe.
You know, here's my hypothesis. I think that the more specific and nuanced the fetish, the more money that you make off of it. Is that true?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. They're gonna call on the character where I'm charging $2.99 a minute.
Got it. So then they self-select into the higher package or the higher profiles. So I would guess one of the 4 profiles is the race play profile, and that's probably the higher limit of what you charge per minute.
Well, yes, for what I charge. Now there are some girls that charge $5 a minute or $7 a minute, but I feel as though my personal opinion, um, that I wouldn't get as many calls if I raise my rate too high. So
Yeah.
I try to keep it less than $4 a minute.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay. All right. Wow, that's great. Okay. I'm trying to I'm trying to wrap my okay. So if you can, right, like when we say like race play, right, are they saying the whole kit and caboodle, or is it like
Yes,
okay,
yes.
we're not saying the entire words. The
Right, I
N-word,
got you. Right, yes, the N word
okay.
and
But
the
like
whole
porch,
yes,
all of that.
yes, everything.
Wow.
Yes, yes.
Uh, wow.
And you have some of those that they like to breed or procreate with us, and it's a fantasy. And I just really get deep into it, and so, before they know it, 30, 40, or 50 minutes be done passed. It's a fantasy. And my thing is, if I can indulge in that fantasy, Imma take it and run with it.
Now, hold up. Carmen. Now, and your husband knows
Yeah,
that
he knows.
you are at home being called all of these obscenities
Uh-huh.
from a race perspective, from a sexuality perspective,
Mhm,
from a right, like so he knows that you're being degraded for entertainment,
mhm.
and he's cool.
Yeah, he's fine with it. 'Cause it's not like my husband is not in the room with me when I'm on the call, so he's fine with it. It's just a fantasy. And I believe that's because most of these guys who do this know that in real life, they would never be able to come up to a black woman in public and start shouting out these words. You and I both know that.
Facts. So they do it from and I would assume most of those that are doing the race play are not. And also too, there was actually a story that came out not too long ago. I was actually gonna do a live stream on. Are you familiar with Doja Cat?
No.
So Doja Cat is like a singer that she has a top song right now. I think it's like with Nicki Minaj, like it's on Billboard, like top 5 song. And anyway, she's a pop star or whatever type of
Mhm,
music that she does. And she had a video, I think it was like 2015, where she was like in this chat room with like these with in the news article, they described them as like white supremacist incels,
right.
and she was saying these like race play type things and doing like these weird noises and stuff
Mhm.
like that. And now she's a pop star, and then someone dug something up from her past. But it's interesting to me how many people condemn things in your face, but behind closed doors,
Right.
that is a something that they do, not even just do, but like from a sexual perspective. Because my assumption is that as they are doing these different things, they're mixing it with climaxing, correct or
Right.
not?
Absolutely, yes. Mhm.
So listen, so let me bring that back down because it's still mind-boggling to me that your husband is just like, hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And it's that. So does your husband also know that you are helping other men climax?
Yes, he knows.
Okay.
Actually, let me tell you, for a while, I had this client. I don't know what happened to him, but I want to say he was 70 or 71 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and he would call me. Oh my goodness, he would call me 2, 3 times a day. And each time he would call me, we would be on the phone for about 20 minutes. And so it got to the point where when my husband would come home, and I don't tell him about all my clients, but some of the clients I'll tell him. And so this one particular old client, I'm just going to refer to him as Jim.
Jimmy. Go
Jimmy,
ahead.
yeah. And he would um my husband would actually ask me, "Did Jimmy call you today?" Because it got to the point where he was calling me every day, 2, 3 times a day. And then if he didn't call me, we would crack jokes about it. Like, well, what happened? How come he didn't call you today?
That okay. So your husband has fun with it. He doesn't take it seriously.
No, not at all. No. Uh-uh.
And it's because it sounds like it's because he knows how much of a hustler that you are.
Right, exactly. And I'm just home, you know,
Here,
making money.
here's the thing. I did a back. I don't know if you remember this, but back during the OnlyFans video, what I was saying during the OnlyFans chat is that I put a survey up on the screen, and maybe I'll do another survey here right now, so that the viewers can go down in there and vote, and then we can both see their perspective on the situation. But the question was, if your significant other did like an OnlyFans account just specific to, like, let's say their feet, would you be okay with that? What surprised me, of the 50 or so people that voted in that, 50% said that they would be okay with that. 50% said that they would be okay with that. And I kind of want to bring that back. And maybe I'll do another survey here in a little while to see of the folks that are down in here, how do they feel about that same question as well. But what that question was is essentially in the same lines of what you're saying that you do from a part-time perspective. But yours is also like it's a talking, right? I think, like, if you think of like the levels of the porn, right? Like there's texting would probably be at the lowest level. After
Right.
texting would probably be pictures. In my opinion, probably pictures. The next level after that is probably actually talking on the phone. The level after that is probably video chat. Would you agree with
No,
that?
it would be texting
Okay.
and then actually talking on the phone,
Okay.
um, pictures,
Okay.
and then actually doing live video.
Okay. So you would switch the talking on the phone with the sending of pictures. Now, let me ask you another question as well, because I know that you get model pictures for the profile and the site, but when they ask you for like pictures, do you send more model pictures, or then do you then send your own?
I send the model pictures.
Okay, so essentially, you have one model that has pictures of every orifice.
Right.
Okay, and then you keep on sending. So from a business startup perspective, okay, let's dip into the business.
Okay.
What I'm hearing is that the upfront starter cost would probably be, you need a smartphone for text. Okay. Do you use your same smartphone for your personal phone, or do you have a separate like burner phone for the activities?
I use my regular cell phone because I have my cell phone number is registered on the site to receive text messages.
Okay.
So when they log on to the account and they want to send me a text message, then they'll text me on that platform and then it comes to my cell phone, but they don't have my number.
Okay, got it. So then the website has some type of system in place where they can intercept
Right.
the call, and then they send it. Yeah, Amazon does the same thing when they deliver my
Right.
packages. It's the same type of technology, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you don't have a burner phone, so you use your personal phone. So
Right.
no extra cost from a personal phone perspective.
No.
Okay, then you have to have the pictures. So you purchase, I think you said it was $80 for like 30 pictures. So you pay the $80. Do you have to pay the site a fee, or does the site take the money out of the per minute charges?
Okay, it was 80 pictures for $30.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as the platform goes, for the calls, the platform keeps 30% and I get 70%.
Okay, so they're taking, okay, so that's like YouTube margins. YouTube takes 30% from
Mm-hmm.
me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, I will tell you, you do have some clients who are aware of how much the platform takes. And if the client wants to give all of their money to um, the profile who they're calling, then um, you can let them know that you have Cash App or you have Twitter, and that way they can get other means of transferring money to you
Okay.
after the call.
Well, I would assume that would be the revenue model, right? Like because really the site Night Flirt is getting new clients. It's like it's probably
Right.
search engine optimized. It's probably
Hmm.
right. Like so they approach you through the site. They find you through the site.
Right.
But I would assume that it's your goal is to get them off the site. Is there a contract that you have to sign with the Night Flirt
No,
where they try to
no
keep you on the site?
contract. No contract. I'm an
Contractor.
independent contractor.
Okay, so like on your taxes, you're an independent. So they give you a 1099-C.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Do you, from like a protection of assets perspective, are you like a sole proprietorship, or do you set up a LLC? Oh, by the way, we get into the questions, by the way. Yeah. Listen, there's other content creators that have fun, these types of conversations, but we get into the guts. You understand what I'm saying? We get into the
Right.
guts. Do you set up like a sole proprietorship to right, like, or do you set up a LLC? Like from a business perspective, how do you manage the business of doing it as well?
I actually haven't done neither one. I'm just making sure I pay my taxes right now, because I don't know how much longer I want to stay in this. So I
Yeah.
don't think I'm gonna stretch it out, to you know, actually start a brand on
Yeah.
this. I'm just trying to make extra money. Um,
Okay.
and then also the main reason why, I would not show my face or anything is because in the future, if I get a government job, I don't need this to come back and bite me in the ass later.
Mm.
So, and then also being that I have kids, because kids nowadays are online, you never know what they come across. So I don't need my kids to be embarrassed
Mm.
because somebody says, "Ooh, I seen your mommy on this website." No.
Yeah. Yeah, but at the same time, I would assume that the more that you're willing to output, the more the money, right? Because like you see like these receipts of these OnlyFans accounts that show like, a couple of $1,000s per week, and they're doing videos, they're doing pictures, they're doing this, they're doing that. Just real quick, there's a bunch of super chats that came through, so let me acknowledge. Shout out to Ricky Guthrie. Thank you so much for the £2 super chat. Fire have fee bum out them Ross Clark. John no star. Have no idea what the hell that means, but I'm gonna read it anyway. Let me go back down into the chat. Listen, I missed a couple of super chats that I won't be able to show onto the screen. Next one was from Rise Above Lifestyle Official. Thank you so much, bro, for the $2 super chat. Shout out to MTR killing the content game. Rise Above. Appreciate you, my G. Shout out to New King God. She's wild. Does she have any limits? Yeah, we were talking about the limits. It comes from a video perspective, and it seems as though you don't actually show you at all.
No, I do not. No.
But from an auditory perspective, there are no limits. There's just
there are no limits. Exactly.
Okay, so from an auditory perspective, there are no limits, and the what it seems is that the more specific the fetish, the higher that you can command in a dollar amount.
Right, and I'm glad that you said that because the platform, they do have rules. So one of the things that you cannot talk about is scat.
What?
Scat, SCAT. For those who do not know what scat is, it's
that's
poop.
like when you sing, like like the old, like in the 50s, they had like scat music, right? No.
No, scat is when you're doing number two.
What? Oh, so like defecation.
Yes, thank you, defecation. You can't talk about that. So every once in a while,
Well, I thought okay, because it's illegal, right? So there must be some type of law. It must be whatever state that they're in. It must be illegal, and like by them, I mean not the clients, but the website provider, the night flirt or the OnlyFans, whatever it is.
Yeah, I just know they said that's one of the rules that you can't discuss that. So now, what I've seen happening is if the client really wants to talk about that, then they will make arrangements with, the girl that they called and to send them money through Cash App, and the girl sets the price, and the client will pay that price before they're able to call, and they'll probably have a second line that's set up, for the client to call them so that they can actually talk about it.
Wow. And then I'm assuming from there they'll go as far as like 2 girls, 1 cup. And
I'm sorry, say again.
Yeah, there was an old internet video called 2 Girls, 1 Cup. It was on the internet a long time ago, and it was essentially like these girls who were like vomiting and oh god, this is demonetized. This is going straight to, it's going straight to the Patreon. Yeah, I can't leave this up here. But yeah, but it was essentially like a 2 Girls, 1 Cup video where they were vomiting and scatting all over each other and eating it and doing all that stuff. Wow, it's so crazy. It seems like the website is very specific to like very lonely men, and then also very sexually like just off the wall. Like if you log on to like a Pornhub or like an X videos and you go look at the links all the way at the bottom, like they're into like all them shits. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Hold on, I got a couple of the super chats in here. Let me acknowledge this real quick. Shout out to Pedro. First time seeing you down here, my G. Does your job make you curious about trying BDSM with your husband?
We already do, baby.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me follow that one up. Let me follow that one up. Is there components of like your, and feel free not to answer if we get too into it. But like, is there components of your husband hearing how your day went, and then you both use that for interactions?
No, just if it's in the air, then I'll break out the whips and chains and the leather heels and stuff,
God. But do you think that kind of goes into why he's okay with what you do? Is because there is like BDSM within the air, right? So like he doesn't see, because what I heard you say earlier in the cast was like he's secure, right? Like, and the first thing, like that when a woman says to a man, right, is referencing a man, is talking about that he's secure about something. Usually, a lot of women use that as a shaming tactic, as to say, well, if you don't do what I call him doing as secure, then you are insecure. You see what I'm saying? So like, I feel like a lot of people that was in the chat was like, oh, here we go again, da 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 da. you see what I'm saying? But like, so within that, like, are you saying like, or what I'm saying is that there's probably a degree in the normal activities that you guys do, which kind of feeds into why he's okay and comfortable with the at-home activity.
Honestly, no. He just knows that I'm a go-getter, and
Yeah.
if it's something that I'm doing to make money legally, it's not like I'm on a corner. I'm not on the street corner, I'm not selling drugs, no one knows who I am.
Yeah.
So,
Well, shout out to Pedro. I think Carmen sufficiently answered your question. Okay. Shout out to Pedro. Shout out to Pedro. Shout out to Tango Ray. Hold on, where my soundboard at? Appreciate the $20 super chat, my G. Tango Ray. Salute to brother MTR with his clitoris top lip. Nigga, why you looking at my lips? Tango Ray. Why? Okay. Tango Ray, you might need to call. You might need to go in the description box and call Carmen up. Okay. You might need to go in the description box and click on that link and call up Carmen so she can talk to you. Shout out to Tango Ray. Okay. Joking with me in the super chats. you see my subs, Carmen, they coming at my neck. How dare they?
I see.
How dare they? Okay. Hold up, I'm missing some more. Hold on. Oh man, the chat is going off. Shout out to Boogie Talks. Wait, hold up. I think I got boogies down in here. Hold on. Ah, shit. Yo, the chat, Carmen, the chat is going insane.
That's good.
I'm not sure if you can see the chat right now. You might have to go back later.
I can't see no chat.
Yeah, you might need to go back later and review it. I think you're gonna have a good time watching through the chat. But like I wanted to keep you focused right here. So just go back later and go through the chats, but the chat is moving at a pace that I haven't seen it before ever.
Okay.
So shout out to Buggy Talks. No shaming tactics today. I'm bored. The usual suspects are not here. So Boogie, shout out to Boogie. Shout out to the Patreon gang. So Boogie comes in and bogards the chats if we see any female shaming tactics down in there. You understand what I'm saying? But there's none down in there today. I would assume out of the over 300 plus that are in the building right now, the majority of which are quiet ladies. You understand what I'm saying? They're just not saying nothing. They're just, they're taking notes. They're saying, okay, that's what she does per week, 25 hours per week, makes $40, $45, $50,000 per year. Listen, there's a lot of people in here that work 40 hours per week doing something that is not at home, making, the same amount of money for more time. And, you found something which produces, and it's sales, right? It's digital sales. So, it's going to be ebbs and flows. And let me ask you another question too. How has COVID, right, affected business? Have you seen an uptick, a downtick?
I have seen a huge downtick.
Mm.
Huge. And I know why. If everyone is under quarantine, that means the kids are home, the wives are home, so the husbands are home, and they can't get away to get on the phone like they used to. So now, even though I do have a clientele base, I haven't been in this game for 10 years. So you have some girls on this platform that's been in the game for 10 years or more, 13 years, 15 years. And some of these girls are bringing home $20,000 a month. I've seen, there's a girl that I know, which I won't say her name. She showed me one of her breakdown for her deposit, and it's a screenshot. So like we know what the screen looks like, and it shows you the breakdown of what you got paid, for text messages, what you got paid for phone, for phone time, for selling goodie bags and all of that stuff. And the total came to about 20,200 and something. But but her clientele base is strong, like super strong, because she's been in it for over 10 years.
Let me ask you a question, Carmen. How come you haven't gone into the OnlyFans?
I do have an OnlyFans account. I just started it, which is not doing too good, probably because it's only of my feet. So, I I refuse to put myself out there like that. So, but for those who have a strong foot fetish, is what I was trying to reach to. So, um, we'll see. Maybe I can get some more subscribers after this. Who knows?
Let me ask you a question from your perspective. Like why do you think there's such an industry of men paying for, right, like very unique things? Okay, let me and there's not an industry for women doing the same things, right? Like you've been around the block, like you're a hustler, like you know the various forms of making money, and you do what your thing is, right? So, but like I just want to hear, like, from your perspective, why do you think from like a male, like why is it so different between men and female, between male and female in that regard?
Um, I feel like there's a difference because the way men look at women, not saying that they only look at them as sexual objects,
Mhm.
but um, God made women to be, you know, attractive and you know, um, it's a sexual attractant, and I think that's why. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, and I have my own answers for this as well. I wanted to hear your perspective as well, because essentially, you have nestled yourself into an industry that seeks to fulfill something that a lot of dudes don't naturally have, but you don't see women doing this. You don't see women, seeking something out, like, right, from a digital perspective outside of their relationship. If anything, they'll cheat physically, as opposed to, these dudes who are feel locked in, and then they are searching for something outside of the confines of what it is that of life that they've chosen within that. So, like, I just want to hear from someone who participates of ascertaining revenue
Okay. I
perspective.
I also believe a lot of these guys who are paying for these services, um, and I hate to use this, but think back to high school when you
Yeah.
had the high school nerd, or the nerd who's in college and nobody wants to talk to him. Some of the guys may still be stuck in that rut, or if they're not heavily endowed, like if their sexual member is not an average or decent size and they cannot please a woman, then um, they will resort to these services.
Mm, wow. Okay. Okay. I am floored. How about this? Let's how about this? You were sharing some stories. Let's get back into some of the stories. Okay. Let's get back into some stories. Any, like, uh, what's the within the 2 years that you participated in the industry, what is, a memorable experience that you think would be valuable or beneficial to share?
Um, I had a call from a doctor, and this was recent. And he actually called me back twice. We were on the phone for almost 3 hours, and he was talking about his practice, and he was married, and just telling me how he was feeling, and um, he was pretty much taking a trip down memory lane as far as the good deeds that he's done for upcoming nurses and doctors. Um, And I mean, he was just talking, and I just listened, and he was happy just to have someone listen. So it just made me wonder, maybe his wife isn't listening to him. Maybe they're not um communicating enough just for her to just sit back and just listen to what he has to say. Even though it could be something that she already knows about, maybe they were at a point, where she was just tired of listening to him. And so the fact that he called me and we were on the phone, he called back twice, and this was a non-sexual call. Um, it did something to me. Like, it just made me wonder, like, okay, you're married, you're successful. There's plenty of other people you can talk to, but you chose to call me. And not just call and talk to me, but you called twice in one day. It just made me wonder, what he was going through. I do think at the beginning of the call he was fine, but
Mm-hmm.
about midway, I think he was drinking. I know he told me he had a glass of vodka. So, and as the call went on, as it continued, he continued to loosen up. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's those stories that make me feel that make it makes me feel bad. Um, that they have signed themselves up for a life where that is then the option, right? Like they don't have an opportunity to share that stuff within the confines of the life that they have structured. So they have to, do that behind closed doors. You see what I'm saying?
hmm
It's interesting that's what it is. That's why I tell so many folks on the channel, like, it's mostly a male subscriber base. Listen, like at the end of the day, listen, if you have a ton of money and and if you're doing stuff like this, if you're communicating with someone on OnlyFans or someone on Night Flirt, and the other person in the relationship knows about it, and you're not having to hide it or da da da. Like if you talk, you do have that perspective, going through your thing. Like if that's the way that you achieve happiness, but for the ones that are doing it from a place of secrecy, right? Like I feel bad for them because I feel like they've just structured their life in a way that they have to hide behind something in order to fulfill something. You see what I'm saying?
right. I wanted to bring up something else with the question that you asked me about why is it more so men than women. I
Mm-hmm.
also believe the reason why more men are calling into these phone sex lines is because in person, in real life, they may be fearful for, they may be afraid that they might be rejected.
Mm-hmm.
So if they call in to a platform, they don't have to worry about being rejected. Now, versus a female is not going to call these lines. Just like you mentioned earlier, a female's going to actually go out and cheat, or they're going to go to a strip club so that they can touch and see, or, actually have the male stripper in front, like, face to face.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it's because over the phone for a female, it's not
They
going
don't
to
do
do
it.
anything sexually for them.
That's a fact. Yeah, because I feel
So,
like dudes are way more visual. Even
right,
even if like there's a component of them knowing that there's a high possibility that these pictures are not real, but they can place their
right,
mind somewhere. They can
right,
create that fantasy in order to escape their reality.
right.
Whereas also with women, like it's way easier for a woman to get a sexual fulfillment because there's so many dudes that are in and around their DMs, that's in and around their call logs, right? Like
hmm
it's different. You see what I'm saying? Even though
Mhm.
there's typically more women available than dudes, there's still more dudes that are willing to insert in more women, irrespective of the value of that woman is what I see in and around me. You see what I'm saying? It seems like women tend to have higher expectations, and what I say on this channel is a lot of the higher expectations is through hypergamy.
Right.
That's why women typically have checklists versus men just have ratings. You see what I'm saying? Also, real quick, I saw a super chat come through. Let me acknowledge. Shout out to Buggy Talks. Men who get services are blue pill, lack knowledge of themselves. Can't judge them for being blue pill for so long and still learning more about myself. Let me ask you a question, Carmen. How of if you were to take a guess of the dudes that call you, how many would you say no and they just sit well within the understanding that it's a fantasy
Um,
versus them thinking that it's real?
I'm gonna say about 80%.
So most of the dudes know that it's not real.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing. Like, so I look at Boogie's comments and he says that they're blue pill. So blue pill to me, there's an assumption there that they don't know. And that's not what's happening. What it seems like to me is that they do know. They do know that it's a fantasy, but they're yearning for any outlet whatsoever. Right?
Exactly.
They're just, and the thing is like these dudes that have a lot of money, they understand that like at the end of the day, like yeah, I'm a burn money 80% of the time is what Carmen is saying. I'm gonna burn money on something that is satisfying a need through artificial means, which
Mm.
at the end of the day to me is not blue pill because they know they're hip to the game. They're just so wrapped up in their lives that they live and they don't want to give up the lives that they live, but they seek this as solace.
Right.
I'm just so disconnected from what that is. How about this, Carmen? If you could, so I know you shared the doctor story, and you felt like after that happened, you learn right, like you learn something about kind of how a man may right like utilize his time to communicate with someone outside of his situation. What about? I know you were talking about before, kind of like this. Um, dudes tipping you to schedule was it like nail appointments for them and stuff like that?
Waxing um appointments. So they wanted to have their legs waxed or their back and manicures and pedicures and stuff like that.
Okay. Any other like salacious stories like that come because you've been doing it for like 2 years or so. So like any other stories like that you feel like, or is it just mostly just phone call and then after like 2 weeks or something like that, they just go on their way? Like any other stories like that?
No, not really.
Listen, and then also too, like, so typically when so were you stay at home before you started this business?
Yes,
Oh, okay. And then the kids are out the house.
because they're in school. Yes.
Oh, okay. So you make sure that you make the hours between when they go to school and then when they or your husband comes home. Then you open up the phone lines.
Right. So I don't get on the phones until 9 o'clock in the morning, and then I'll get off at 2:45 in the afternoon because the kids come home from school. Now during the summertime, um, because they're pretty self-sufficient now, I have a sign on my door and I'll let them know mommy's working, so don't bother me. So then I'll go in my room and then I'll go in my closet and shut the door.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll also log on late night. So it may be like 11 o'clock at night to like 6 o'clock in the morning. But I actually go to sleep though. So
Okay.
when the call comes through, by the time the operator introduces who's calling, my sleepy voice is gone. So
Got it. Wow. Yeah. Shout out to Buggy Talks. They are yearning because of lack of deeper understanding of themselves. Didn't use blue pill in a bad way. It's one thing to know and another to understand. You know what it sounds like to me, which goes outside of blue pill to me, is just like it's just people living in fantasies. It's just,
exactly.
and that's just what it is. And listen, at the same time, too, every time that each one of y'all in the chat goes to a porn site, guess what you're doing? You're living out a fantasy. There's a degree of
Absolutely.
fantasy within that. It's just you choose to do it free. They choose to pay for it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They choose to pay for it. You know, I still think it's gross, but it is what it is. I mean, whatever it is. The thing is, maybe the level and degree of Pornhub happiness is they're not going to get where they need to go because they tick differently than me, as opposed to actually talking to a person and setting up like what's in their mind as a fantasy, and then just living within that as well. But I understand and agree, like the Matrix, because you're placing, it's like you're forcefully placing yourself in the Matrix. It's like you're forcefully placing yourself there to live your life in, hooked in to the Matrix. But even though you're doing that, there's still a sense of happiness that you're getting on top of that. So it feeds them. It feeds them somehow. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I am floored. I am riveted. I was on the edge of my seat for that entire conversation. Listen,
So
anything else to share? Any other
yes,
stories?
I wanted to tell you. I know most people are trying to figure out, how does this happen? Like, um, I had a client who wanted to know why there's been such an influx of phone sex girls, and this was 18 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Think back to the recession back in 2008, 2009. A lot of people were trying to find ways to make income just to put food on the table, pay rent, and keep the lights on.
Mm-hmm.
No one wakes up and says, "Hey, I want to be a phone sex operator." No one. But if you got jobs out there that's not hiring, and you trying to make ends meet, you do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, and as for myself, not only did I want to be there for my kids, but the most important thing, which I forgot to mention, um, my kids never been to daycare. My kids never went to a babysitter from day one.
Mm-hmm.
They've always been with me.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I don't trust anyone, you got some crazy people out here.
Mm-hmm.
So, for that reason, I'm going to do whatever I can to work from home and make sure that I'm the one that's watching my kids and not anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, but yeah, that's where this, huge influx. And then, of course, ever since the virus hit, I want to say within the first 2 weeks, the platform shut down
Mm.
because there were so many new girls
That hit.
that were joining on the platform and making profiles to make money. I understand. I get it, you
Mm.
know? And then also you have those girls who they made an account over 10 years ago, but it just wasn't active. And then they jump back on so that they can make money because they can't go to work. So,
Yeah. Wow. I mean, and that's the thing, as you describe that, it's an alternative source of making money that, from a woman's perspective, is safe, right? Because you can set up the business in a way where the security is airtight.
exactly.
You could set it up airtight, and you get something out of it. You spend your time doing something. The man gets something out of it because he wants to hook back down into the fantasy. He wants to hook
Right.
back down into the matrix, and
Mhm.
then act like, for the little bit amount of time, that someone enjoys him. Oh God.
Absolutely.
I got a goddamn chill. It makes me feel so bad. It makes me feel so terrible for the mental health of like a lot of dudes. Like it because women are not doing that. Like
I
women
agree.
are,
Right.
yeah, like women are not doing that. Like more often than not, women have right, like they're not seeking solace in the interwebs, right? Like
Right.
they're not, like they have people that they can interact with within their DM list or their contact logs, right? Like they just have to lower their checklist in order to show him respect, depending upon what he
Mm-hmm.
brings to the table or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, there's dudes that will put their hard-earned money to have a discussion with someone that will plug them in for an amount of time, which is why I so much appreciate this conversation, because I'm not going to sit up here and have a conversation with you that completely just takes what you do and talks about the negative, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
that what you have here is basic economics. You're supplying a good, a product, and a service, and based off of the demand for that product and that service and the willingness to pay for that product or service, you are earning revenue. You are earning revenue. You are earning more than the average or the median income per year outside of the COVID situation. But
Right.
you are earning more than the median income because you are filling a need. And in
Mm-hmm.
fact, a component of the need that you fulfill is actually cheaper than professional help. Maybe that's part of the
Exactly.
problem.
Right.
Maybe that's part of the problem. Is
That
that
too.
is that the healthcare industry within America is so expensive that
Right.
they have no other outlets.
Because of how much it costs to see a therapist per hour.
Facts. Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to get at. Yeah, like I said, I'm trying to figure this out live, because like this is all new goddamn information for me. My bastards are calling you and telling you to make appointments at nail salon spots to get manicures and shit. That shit is
I know.
wow. Shout out to XXX Depression. Appreciate the 20. Hold on, where my soundboard at? Cheers! Sunday Red Cup talk. Carmen, do you have a Red Cup available, Carmen?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Do you have a Red Cup?
Hello?
Carmen, can you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Do you have a Red Cup available?
Yes, I hear you now. Yes, I do.
Okay, awesome. Okay, I told you to get your Red Cup ready, and I appreciate you getting your Red Cup ready. You know why? Because it's Red Cup talk. Because it's Red Cup talk. Cheers. Salud. Bang.
Cheers. Thank you. Salute.
Shout out to XXX Depression. I honestly think it's deep insecurities for both parties. People who say you got to do what you got to do didn't apply themselves at some point in life and took a shortcut. Women crave attention, and so do men. Salute. Carmen, I want you to be able to react to that. I can read it again for you. You can see it on the screen though, right?
Yeah, I can see that. Wow. As far as those who did not apply themselves, you don't know the situation. So, um, I have to disagree with that. You don't know if that person applied themselves. You don't know if they tried, and due to unfortunate circumstances, things didn't pan out. And then, when life comes at you, you just got to roll with the punches. But I don't think choosing this route is because the female didn't apply themselves.
Mm, okay. And here's the thing as well, like, and I like to call spades. Like at the end of the day, what other opportunities can you work from home making $55,000 a year for 20 hours per week, 25 hours per week? So here's the thing. I think like the economy will reflect the jobs that people take. Like at the end of the day, if people can make that much money for that little time, do we really expect people not to take those jobs? Do we really expect that? Now, at the end, now also too, on the flip side of the coin, I was surprised to hear that you were doing it for 6 months and your husband didn't know. That was a strong giggle, Carmen. It was a strong giggle.
Stop it.
Strong giggle. All right. I wouldn't have been giggling if I was married to you, Carmen. I would have been pissed.
Oh my
Okay?
goodness.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I would have been pissed. I would have been pissed, and I would have looked at you in the eye and said to you, Carmen, it's a wrap. I'll be honest with you.
Really?
And here's the reason why, Carmen. It's because I think it's one thing to have an occupation that you hide from your significant other, but it's another thing to have an occupation that you hide from your significant other that involves the sex industry. You see
Okay.
what I'm saying? And I think like that's probably a degree in the reason why maybe you didn't tell them at first. But at the same time, I think because one of the, like dudes, like we have like high egos, right? Like, so when we typically look at a woman, right, we're looking for the highest degree of femininity. We look for the highest degree of attractiveness that we have to that woman. And then we also look for the lowest body count, right? Or right, like the lowest body count. So you take those three different factors, and also the least crazy. I forgot to put that one in there. The least crazy, right? So within that, the low body count one, to know that there's a component, although the body count is not tied to this industry that you're a part of, there was a part of it there where being involved in the sex trade or the sex industry from a digital perspective that I think like deserves a conversation at the beginning of it. If the dude is okay with it, then it's his decision, it's his life, it's his thing. But it sounds like you kind of went down a path and then told him later. Any response to that, Carmen?
Like I said, I didn't know how he was going to react or respond to it. So that's the main thing. And then I was relieved after I told him, and we're up here both laughing about it. And he's like, "Well, why didn't you tell me sooner?" And he started giving me tips and ideas, and we started going into um other character names and
Oh, so
what
was
you
it
could.
like he helps you out
Yes, yes. So,
because it
and
puts more money in both your pockets because you're married.
exactly. At the end of the day, exactly. So he's hilarious. You should hear the conversations that we have. So, but yeah, he's totally cool with it. Like I said, I didn't know how he was going to react. So that's the main thing.
There it is. And shout out to Marcus Wright. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. At the end of the day, it's a business. If there was no demand, you wouldn't have to supply. That's what I was trying to say earlier. Keep doing what you're doing and make that coin, ma.
Thank you.
Shout out to Marcus Wright. I mean, at the end of the day, Carmen is fulfilling a need. Shout out to Raziel. Thank you so much, bro, for the $2 super chat. Carmen, would you want your daughter doing this?
Absolutely. If she's in college, let me tell you something. There are so many college girls on this platform. It's insane. It is literally insane. These girls, they go to school, they get on the phone, they make that money. What? A lot of these girls are also buying model pictures just like I do. Absolutely. You're working from home in between classes. What? Absolutely. Let me tell you, there are some of these girls who are in college who paid their way through college through phone sex. Okay? They
Facts. I know
they
that.
they pay for their their books, their tuition, their lifestyle, their car notes, you name it. Some of these clients that call, are specifically looking for young college girls. And, I know I can't sound like a young college girl, a young Caucasian. Let's be specific. I tried it. I can't do it. And
Feel,
so
feel,
those are the
feel
ones
free
that really make a lot of money. I
if,
don't understand what it is about these men with these young girls, but they just they
they what? Carmen, you there?
are you there? Hello?
Yep, I can hear you.
Oh,
You broke up. We heard they, and then we lost you after that.
okay. I was just saying that these men, they flock to it. They flock to young girls.
So let's get back on. So just real quick. Um, so if your daughter, let's say you had an 18-year-old daughter, who's off to college, she says, Mom, and you're like, and she's talking about the cost of da 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 da, and then she goes back and she's like, well, this is something that I can do in order to earn extra money, and you'd be like, you got to do what you got to do. Yes, no.
Yeah. I would tell her about it. I would present it to her and see how she feels about it, because it it takes a special person to do this. Not everybody can do this. A lot of my girlfriends that know that I do this, they can't they can't picture themselves actually doing this. And
So
then
let
also,
me ask you another question, Carmen. So even knowing, so like the unique and circumstances that you talk to these older men, 50, 60 years old, from a sexual mature experience perspective, 18-year-old daughter, not really, probably just new to this, da 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 da, doesn't really understand, right? Like, or maybe does, like, I don't know, like, kids growing up today are receive an influx of digital information that
right,
you and
at
I
an
have
earlier
not been
age.
exposed to. Yeah, we like me back in the day. If I came across a Playboy, right, like, or like back in my day, you like, this is before like the digital TVs, and you'd have like the certain channels, and you have like the Scrabble, and you might make out a half of an areola, through the Scrabbled shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that
Mhm.
to me was the shit, right? Like, so like, but today you got Twitter that shows porn. Like,
Right.
it's right. So like, we're dealing with a much younger, informed young person to world star hip hop. Like, it's a much younger yet informed. But even knowing the things that and knowing how off the hook some of these requests are from these old dudes, you would still be like, you would still be okay to allow her to participate in, dudes ejaculating on the phone or climaxing on the phone to her voice or her fake pictures.
Absolutely. She's on the phone. And let me tell you what the other benefits are. Number one, she gets to stay in her dorm room or her apartment or wherever she's at. She does not have to commute to work. She doesn't have to be face to face with people. While she's on the phone talking, she could be doing her homework. Um, and she has me. So I can guide her. I can tell her, listen, if there's some things that you don't feel comfortable talking about, you let your client know. But there's a certain way that you go about it. You don't want to be mean because you want them to call back. You also don't want to be mean because you want them to leave positive feedback after the call is over with. So, mainly because I'm seasoned, and there's so much more that I don't know about this industry. I'm still learning something every week or every month. I'm still learning something new. So, um, again, she has me in her corner telling her, okay, listen, this is how you go about this. This is what you do. This is what you don't do. Yada yada.
Yeah.
So,
Let me ask you
versus
another question, Carmen.
okay.
Um, what do you think your husband would say if your daughter had that job?
Now I think he might have a problem with it. But then again, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. But I'm just looking at, your typical college kid is either working at a fast food restaurant or a like Red Lobster
She's gonna
or
make more money than them. That's for sure.
that that's my
That's for
point.
sure. That's for sure.
So so you don't have to worry about if she's driving, and 9 times out of 10 she's probably working late at night. You don't have to worry about her driving to and from her workplace alone, or she's catching a bus or Uber. You don't have to worry about her being out there at night going anywhere because she's in the comfort of her room or, with us, and she's on the phone.
So I think like I think in my mind, here's what I'm thinking is how much do you sacrifice um financial gain and that security of not having to like drive to work. She can get in traffic accidents. She could be at work and get held up by someone, like all these kind of edge cases. How do you sacrifice? Like, how do you, like, at what point is it too much for the cost of involving in the sex industry? Because here's the thing. I feel like you are matured and tenured enough to understand that, and you've had kids, right? Like, so you're probably a master in knowing that it's a job and separating it in your mind. But I think my perspective is from a 18-year-old girl, like they're still forming, they're still kids. You see what I'm saying? Like they're still trying to understand how to deal with their own sexuality.
Right. I got you. But look at the times that we live in today.
Mm-hmm.
These kids at age 12 know more than what I knew at the age of 12.
Yeah,
Number
this
one.
12-year-old now that know more about the game
Right.
than I do. Facts.
Right.
Facts.
Number two, because my husband and I had kids late, we are
Okay. Sorry.
we are on average 10 years older than the average child's parents in their classroom. So, I'm able to give my kids a piece of wisdom that the younger parents cannot give to help my kids, handle whatever situation is at hand differently than a child would with parents who are 10 years younger than us.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Also, too, we just got a $2 super chat. Shout out to True the Soldier. Thank you so much, bro. Does she feel a sense of entitlement in that job?
So I feel a sense of
excuse me, fulfillment. Not entitlement. I apologize. Fulfillment in that job.
Yes and no. I say yes because I know, I'm at home, I'm safe, I'm making money, I'm doing what I need to do financially because there's some goals that I have that I'm trying to reach.
Mm-hmm.
And for that, this is why I do what I do. No, I feel like I could be doing something else outside the home. I just don't know what that is. And then if it is outside the home, again, my biggest fear is me sending my kids to a babysitter or daycare because they're not old enough to stay home alone yet. And so for that reason, to give me peace of mind, I will not go and get a job where I have to be away from the home when my kids get in from school or, anything. I need to be there for my kids.
Okay.
Because like I said, this world is a crazy place and the things that people do to kids, I would feel better, if I had to take a step back or if that means I have to sacrifice an opportunity to be there for my kids, I'll do that.
Okay. Shout out to Margaret Chamberlain Ruber. What up, Margaret? Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Carmen, How do you feel being a phone sex operator has influenced or changed your perspectives about male sexuality?
I think a lot of men, with this fantasy thing, um, I think a lot of them are afraid to approach their partner or a significant other with the fantasies that they have.
Carmen, 1 second. I gotta go run to the restroom, but feel free. I'll take about 30 seconds. Uh,
Okay,
but continue to answer this question.
okay,
I can hear it. I can hear it.
okay, okay. But yeah, so I think most of these guys are afraid to fulfill these fantasies with their partner or their loved one because it may be too outside the box or um, too is too much over the norm for their partner to to handle. So um, for the most part, that's what has changed what I think about the men's sexuality. Um, so for that reason, that's why they call me or um, other sex fulfilling sites. So as far as influenced, it hasn't really influenced me. If anything, it's made me. I guess maybe it has influenced me just a little bit. It's it's made me want to switch up things in the bedroom a little bit more, because maybe there may be something that my husband is yearning or looking for that he is afraid to come out and ask because I'm so busy with the kids and housework and everything else. So, um, but yeah, that's about it.
Okay. I think it's an incredibly interesting perspective. You understand me? It's incredibly interesting, but I appreciate the time to sit back and take a look at it, dissect it. I think what I've learned today as well is I think oftentimes the um, negative feeling regarding like this industry is placed on the operators, right? Or the OnlyFans account holders, right? But far too often, not enough people put enough focus on those that are willing to pay for this as well. And like at the end of the day, like I said earlier on the channel, I have folks that come by on the channel, write stuff like down into my comments, and like, it goes back to the old adage, hurt people try to hurt people. You see what I'm saying? Like it's just complete and utter vitriol and garbage, and it doesn't aid or promote within the conclusion of a conversation. But I would say the majority of those dudes are the same ones that would participate in this industry. I think the mindset is in the same, right? Because like generally happy and fortuitous people who have are happy with how their lives have turned out or are complete or whole, right? Like or have deliberately constructed each step of their life and were intentional about the construction of each step in their life. Most likely, not all of them, but most likely those very people will not be the ones that would participate in this industry. But I think that a component of it might go down to mental health wellness. A component of it might go down to not realizing who you are and your potential, or the itch that you need to scratch. And then some people are just freaks. They just they just want to get it popping in a situation, and they don't feel comfortable doing it in their real life, and they just leave it in the fantasy life. You know what
Now,
I'm saying?
I will tell you this: there are some women on this platform who actually have their PhD. Yes, because there are some women. Some of them are charging more than $9.99 per
Mm-hmm.
minute, and when that happens, they have to send the right documents to, I guess, the corporate office to get approved. for them to charge a higher rate.
Wow. Because of their
I
credentials.
know it sounds crazy, but yes, there are women. Yes, yes, yes. That's what I meant to say. Yes.
Wow. So it's just like, do you feel like where is this gonna go? Like, what do you think is the end result of all of this? Right. Like what like
I
as
don't think it's going anywhere.
you just think it's just gonna just remain kind of where it is, where it could, because where it sounds like
Yeah,
where. Go ahead.
I don't think this is going anywhere because again, it's phone sex. It's harmless. Number one. Number two, to answer your question, because I know you're completely baffled with the statement that I just said about these women who have their PhDs. A lot of them, even though they may have their PhDs and they're also working to pay off college. Oh my gosh, school loan debt.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is the fastest, easiest way that you can pay off your college debt besides getting on the corner? It's phone sex.
Mm,
And if you are behind the scenes, if you're not using your own photos, because of the stature, the position that you hold,
mm-hmm.
um, it makes perfect sense, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now, phone sex has been around before Pornhub.
That's
So,
a fact. Yeah.
right.
They used to
So
charge
once
more for phone sex back in the day. Now it's reduced
exactly.
prices because of the internet. It used to be
e-
like damn 15 $10 $15 a minute, from my
Exactly.
understanding. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Okay. So now for Pornhub, um, you know, I believe it's like the next step up. So you got your phone sex on the phone, and
Mm-hmm.
then you got your Pornhub, and then you have oh, what is that called? Your Twitter, I believe, where you see live video.
OnlyFans?
No, not OnlyFans. No. Um,
Well, there's people on Pornhub that have like just like on YouTube, I have a creator account. There's people
okay.
on Pornhub that have creator accounts, and then they make money off of the content, the sexual content that they do with each other or by themselves, and then upload to the internet.
Right, but no, I'm talking about like live webcam. That's what I meant to say.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Webcam.
yeah.
Okay. So it just takes it
Like
to a
a
whole nother
chatterbait.
level. Right, right. So it just takes it to a whole nother level. But as far as phone sex, that's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, it's the oldest industry known to mankind. And now that we have the internet, it's just taken a new form. Now it's just digital.
Absolutely. And I wish I knew about this 10 years ago. I would have been started on this.
There it is. All right, so listen, Carmen, we've been doing this for about 2 hours or so. I want to be respectful of your time. Any other words to share, any other perspectives to share, any other stories that you want to share, or you
Yes.
feel like there was any stone unturned?
I wanted to let those know when you said when does it become too much? First of all, you have to pace yourself
Mm-hmm.
because you do have a life. You can't forget who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And so for that reason, I don't take calls on Sundays and Thursdays.
Mm-hmm.
And for those women who are here, if you choose to get into phone sex, consistency is key. Consistency is key.
That's like
Uh,
on YouTube. Consistency is key.
you you can't get up there on a Tuesday and then be gone for 3 5 days and then pop back up on a Wednesday. You want to keep the same schedule on the same days. Because after a while, when you start to build up your clientele, you're going to have clients who are going to be looking for you at certain times and expecting you to be there. So my clients know, the ones that I talk with on a regular basis, they know that I'm not on the phones on Sunday and Thursday. And I set that up, because if I have a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment, or if I need to go to the bank, or then I'll do all those things on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the main thing is, you have to abreast yourself with the different fetishes. And if there's something that you don't know, be honest about it. Tell your client, hey, that sounds kinky. I don't know about that. Never heard about that before. Would you mind indulging and letting me know, what's that about? You know? I think a lot of my clients appreciate how down to earth I am. I get that all the time. Um, Maybe it comes out of my voice, but
Now, is your voice that you've had here today, is that the same voice during the calls?
no,
Oh, you didn't tell me this, Carmen. Do you feel comfortable giving a sample, or
no,
is that just
no,
reserved for
no.
they can't they gotta go to the link to upgrade to that level of sophistication? Is what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah,
There it is. Yeah, there it is. But you already know I had to ask when you said that.
of course.
You already know I had to ask. Also too, Carmen, another super chat came in. Let's address this is the last super chat that I see down in here. So let's address this. And I actually think that this is a good question that I wanted to get your perspective on. Shout out to XXX Depression on Patreon is in the building. Yeah, they are. I'm gonna drop the Patreon link down in there as well. So you guys, for the folks that are in here that are interested in seeing the behind the scenes, the folks that are in here and getting connected to the community. I mean, we do voice chats outside of the channel. We do group text discussion. We do video chats, and they all happen randomly, haphazardly. But if you want to be a part of the army, if you want to be a part of the community, the Patreon is how you do that, because we have a Discord server set up where we just communicate. You understand what I'm saying? So I just dropped the link to the Patreon down in there. If you guys are new down in here, follow the Patreon in order to get the extra special amount of value from the channel, from the communication. Now, Carmen, I've given you some time to read what's on the screen right here. I wanted to address it. And also, too, folks that are down to the chat, like the video. There's only 216 likes. And we had over 330 viewers concurrent at one time. So we should have at least 300 likes. Would appreciate the likes down on the video. She restructures her mind to see men's insecurities as profit. People don't understand how fragile the brain is to repeated fulfillment. Do you feel you are fully emotionally connected to your loved ones, especially your man? Carmen, I wanted to get your reaction off of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm very much emotionally connected to my husband, and my loved ones. Absolutely. Again, at the end of the day, I'm just trying to get this money. I'm trying to, trying to save for my kids' future. In the middle of actually having a house built, and all these other financial goals that I'm able to do from the comfort of my home in my PJs.
There it is.
Don't get no. I'm just saying, it don't get no better than that. It really don't.
Listen, I'm gonna talk from my perspective as well. Like me doing the YouTube stuff, being at home and being able to provide value to a degree, it's and even during the COVID, me being able to work from home from my normal 9 to 5, there's something about not having to deal with a commute that I like, But I think what what XXX is hitting on is, at the end of the day, it is a degree that kind of is specific to a loss in another human being, it appeals to a loss. But then I guess the argument on top of that is how much of that loss is that human being's fault? Because if you're just like if you were to set up shop and you end up making, $200 a month, you probably wouldn't do it anymore.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is that people have a willingness to pay that can support you buying a new home.
Absolutely.
So you're fulfilling a need. And my thing is like, I think a lot of us get angry at those that fulfill the need, but maybe the need needs to be filled in an entirely different way that we haven't talked about today. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people out there that are hurting. There's a lot of dudes out there that are just hurting. And I think that this satisfies some inherent need in that hurt. Agree, disagree, Carmen?
I do agree.
Shout out to XXX Depression. Appreciate the $20 super chat. All right. We got a couple others that came in. Let me address some. Shout out to Oshi Yams. Men don't have the luxury to make money that easily. We have to deal with serious repercussions if we want to make the so-called easy money. Shout out to Oshi Yams. Carmen, I don't know if you wanted to react off of that. Yeah.
He's right. It's easy for women, to make money in this industry. Unfortunately, there are a lot of men that view women as sexual objects, and women know this. They know it. So they're going to take advantage of it.
There it is. Shout out to Oshi Yams. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Shout out to Boogie Talks. The woman going to sign up. Thank you. Thank MTR for the plug. Shout out to Boogie Talks. Appreciate the $2 super chat. Shout out again to XXX. Phone sex is definitely light, but this new era got us messed up.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There it is. Yeah, this new era. I mean, it's something.
Yeah.
It's something. It's something to be said about an era where we have publicly available internet websites that show every right. Like think about it back in the day. Okay, think about it. Like think about life before like cars. Right. And I hate to kind of take it there, but like this was 100 years ago, right? Like what year is it? 2020? Yeah, 1920. That's when cars came around. But think about 100 years ago, right? You were relegated to the human beings that were in your town, right? Like you were relegated because of the degrees of transportation that was currently available, because there wasn't internet, because you couldn't talk to someone from another side of the world. It was unheard of if you were born in America and you had a conversation with someone that was born in Istanbul. It was unheard of. Today, That's normal. It's commonplace.
Right.
It's commonplace through the advent of the internet, through the advent of the commercial airline, through the advent of the vehicle. It's commonplace today. The thing is that, and this has been within 100 years, so it's like the technology is moving at such an exponential rate, but it's almost as if the mind, evolution through our mind and the biology hasn't had an opportunity to be able to catch up, hasn't had an opportunity to be able to morph within the technological change. So people are finding ways to cope through the technology.
I was getting ready to say that, yes. And I feel like the phone sex is an outlet. It's a way for them to escape from the norm, or to escape from their
reality.
Yep. Reality. Absolutely.
There it is. Which is why I asked the question, like, where do you think it's going to go? I have no idea. Like, if you look at like Japan has a rapidly declining birth rate. One of the most highest declining birth rates, and their degree of digitization of sexuality far exceeds in America even right now today. I mean, in Japan, you could be walking on the street, you come across a cuddle parlor where literally you walk in and you cuddle with a stranger,
Right.
and no sexual activity, and then you walk out. You know,
Right.
Japan is also the founder of tentacle porn. You understand what I'm saying? Like, those are some freaks over there. But I'm being facetious, but also at the same time, I'm trying to wrap my head around from a technological perspective. In Japan, if you're in an elevator, you're gonna receive Wi-Fi, like 5G Wi-Fi. Right. In America, you got T-Mobile, you're in an elevator, your signal's lost. Right. Like, yeah,
Right.
So Japan, they're on a far different level of technological
Technology.
innovation in their
Right.
society. And because of which, a lot of that has led to a magnificently declining birth rate. So like, when I look to how this might turn out, and also too, you look at the marriage laws within America, you look at, right, like it's declining because of a variety of factors. And it's interesting when you enter in that even the average Jane, right, the plain Jane, you know, that has magnificent feet can get on the internet and show feet that a young man may not have seen to, like in his general vicinity to fulfill some type of desire. It's interesting what that does to human beings. I think it's interesting.
Right.
So I don't know if you know this, Carmen. I go on tangents from time to time.
That's fine.
I go on tangents. Anyway, Carmen, we're 2 hours and 20 minutes. I want to be respectful of your time. I know I asked this question already, which is, you know, anything else to share, but I'm gonna ask you one more time. Anything else to share before we conclude and get out of here?
No, just, for those who are considering signing up, just have fun with it, Don't put too much thought in it. Relax,
There it is. Don't put too much thought. Relax. Be easy. If you choose to escape in that method, you understand what I'm saying? Carmen, I thank you so much for your time. Carmen, if you wouldn't mind, I'm gonna put you back into the lobby real quick. I'm gonna debrief with you over here in a minute. And then, but let me sign off on the channel real quick. But I'll throw you back in there. Okay. We'll
Okay.
chat
Okay.
after this. All right. That's been your live stream for today. What a Sunday. I learned a whole bunch today. Hopefully you did as well. But that's been your stream. Questions, comments, concerns? Y'all already know what to do. Mediocre tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. These are the kind of conversations that I love to have. These are the kind of conversations that we got to bubble up to a level that you may not even heard before this. I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate the donations throughout the live streams. And I also appreciate my Patreon supporters as well. As you guys have seen throughout the past month and change, there's been a lot of growth on the channel, a lot of new faces, but we keep the community tight. We keep the community tight. We keep the bond tighter. You understand what I'm saying? We keep it tight and we keep it there. Again, I appreciate each and every one of you. Again, if you guys are interested into the extracurricular, okay, we got a Patreon, okay? We got a Patreon as well. Actually, the highest level patron that I have on there is a woman. She knows who she is. I don't want to call her out. I want to put her on blast. She's at the highest tier right now, and that's a woman. So we got a couple of ladies, but mostly men. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. They have access to additional content. They have access to earlier content, as well as they have access to viewer requested submissions, as well as they have access to the Discord server where we all can communicate. You understand what I'm saying? Feel free to go up to the Patreon. I'll drop a link one more again. Feel free to go up to the Patreon to see if there's anything in store for you. And if you choose to support the channel, so I can be assured that I focus my attention on creating the best content possible. You understand what I'm saying? Again, I appreciate each and every one of you. Until next time, you two.